Can't you see with 3 little words what time to be?
Hello YouTube, and before I do anything right now, I am going to start the timer like always, because I hate being paid for my shit. Okay, I am going to be starting a new segment. I'm going to be starting a new segment on actual band focus points. Okay, I'll be talking about most of the popular bands for right now, but if I get, more positive feedback, I will be doing more of the, less popular bands that are not really out there, an actual, focus point, okay? If you know what I mean about that, I'll be focusing on that band and what they really need to improve on and how they even became to become a band, if you know what I mean, if you catch what I'm saying. Awesome. Now, the first band that I will be talking about is my favorite band of all time. And I think everybody knows who that band is. And that, of course, is A Day to Remember. A Day to Remember. Where do I even start? Okay, these guys are so broad in how popular they are. Okay, so I'm gonna just start right from the beginning. Okay, they were formed in Ocala, Florida, in 2003. Okay, now you guys may yell at me and say, "Oh no, they started in 2005." No, that was their first album that they recorded. Okay, they, like I said in my previous videos. Okay, they had EPs before. Halo for Heroes was one of them that they did at their live shows before their first album came out. And their name was Treason, or yes, I'm pretty sure I got that right. Okay, their lead, or I should say their actual original band members. I got it right here. Okay, I'm gonna look at it straight on so I don't mess this up. Okay, their original members were Jeremy McKinnon, Neil Westfall, Josh Woodward, Tom Denny, and Bobby Scruggs. Okay, Jeremy, of course, is the lead singer. Okay, Neil Westfall was, no, he wasn't the lead guitarist. Okay, so he was one of the guitarists. Okay, Joshua was the bass. Okay, Tom Denny was the lead guitarist before he left during Homesick. Alright, and obviously Bobby Scruggs was the drummer before Alex. Alex came, I want to say, either beginning or middle of For Those Who Have Heart, okay? Now obviously there were some band members before that, but they were just really short-lived that they're not even, I don't want to say worth saying, just not, well, yeah, I can say that. Not worth saying their real names, okay? Now, before their first album, okay, they went around the whole east side country of United States, of course. And, all in all, they did pretty good, alright? They did really good, alright? I heard, one actual concert that they had, there was 60 kids in there. And, they were singing the songs that were actually in the band, okay? If you catch what I mean, okay? They were singing with them. So they were kind of known on the East Coast, alright? And so, when the first album came out, they had around 8,000 sales. Or 8,000 copies sold, I should say. Now, when For Those Who Have Heart came out, they never gave that information away on how much they sold. But for my perspective, they must have sold just a little bit less than Homesick, because that is obviously my favorite album, because it shows character, okay? It shows attitude. Alright, that's what I love about it. And, if you want to go to actually A Day to Remember, if you want to contribute to A Day to Remember, buy that album first. Okay? Buy the first album or their second album first. Then go on to the other albums. Alright, that's easy. All right, that's easy to say, but sometimes it's hard. All right, if I can, just give me a moment. I'll show you guys what I mean. Actually, I can hardly find it. Here it is. All right. This is the album that I am talking about. For those who have heart, okay? It comes with a 2-disc DVD set, okay, for the actual CD, and it comes with a DVD/CD, so you can see their live recorded stuff from Ocala. All right, that was pretty awesome. I was like, ooh. So, in my perspective, I've said this before and I'll say it again. You have to buy their second album if you want to get into A Day to Remember. Okay, after that, do not buy Homesick. And I've said this again, but for one good reason. Alright, it is so better, or it will ruin all the other albums just because it was that good. Alright, it's so good. Alright, what my order of actually buying the albums was their second album, first and fourth album, and then Homesick. Alright, that was a big mistake for me. You can't buy 2 albums at the same time, because it would just ruin the other album, because, you know, one of those 2 albums will be greater than the other. That's a known fact most of the time. In fact, if that isn't a fact, that's just my opinion. So, and then, you know, I was pretty excited, alright? You know, when Common Courtesy was coming out, I was like, you know, getting awesome, really excited about this. And most of the stuff I've already said, but since it's an actual, like, focus point of A Day to Remember, I have to say it again, just for the purpose of the video, alright? After this, I'll possibly doing maybe 2 more videos. One on Bring Me the Horizon and one on Asking Alexandria. I'll be obviously doing a lot more videos other than this, alright? Right now, I am listening to Common Courtesy, alright? Just because it's the newest album of A Day to Remember. Now, in my perspective, after Homesick, their strong point, their climax, I should say, was Homesick. So it is very hard for an album or for a band to come back even stronger than their best album, alright? So I can give him that, alright? What Separates Me From You was a great album, but for me, I couldn't. I listened to the album, to be honest, for a good 2 months, and I have not listened to a single song in over a year. So, it didn't give its potential. You know what I mean, you know? So, like, okay. Sorry, I'm a little sick. For Homesick, alright, they had the rhythm, alright? They had the screaming, alright? They had that, you know, balance of clean vocals and screaming itself that, you know, Jeremy McKinnon always gives. That's why we love him. That's why we love A Day to Remember. Okay? So, when they made What Separates Me From You, which, okay, you have to remember, Tom left the band at Homesick. So, you know, he basically wrote most of the songs before Kevin even came. So, when What Separates Me From You came, or when they first did it, Kevin was basically pitched in for What Separates Me From You. And they basically left Tom behind. Alright? The only reason why Tom left was because of family and marriage. Alright? If he wanted to, he'd come back. And I would praise the day that he does. Because in my opinion, I think Kevin is actually not doing... Kevin himself is not really, like, putting out what should be better for A Day to Remember. I'm not here to judge A Day to Remember, period, because they are so good. But, like I said, you know, they need... I would love if they, went back to their roots and just had a tiny little bit more screaming in their music. And please, for the love of me, stop putting up the bullshit songs. Okay? And that is all the time I have today. So, my next videos will consist of all the bands that I've said before in the past. Okay? So, in a little bit, I'll actually be doing another video. So, this is Waiter Check, please. I'm going to be signing off. And thank you, YouTube. Have a great day.
We've got our fingers crossed. Our fingers crossed.